I'm back. And this is just simply my review of the next Godzilla movie in our Godzilla series. And the title of this is daikaijû Chikyû saidai no kessen. Or Godzilla versus, or Godzilla versus King Ghidorah. Or, you know, Godzilla vs. Monster X. It's really hard to keep up with all these names. So, without further ado, let's get down to it. Okay then, here we go. So first we're gonna hit the plot, as the placard says. Basically, the plot of this film is standard Godzilla monster fare. Basically, Gojira doesn't show up until you're like 20-30 minutes into the movie. The same with the other monsters in this film, Rodan and Mothra. But basically, it opens up with a bunch of scientists coming to the conclusion, trying to talk with a UFO, and they discover that it's that this young lady who is essentially amnesiac, it's implied that she is in fact an alien from Jupiter, and she comes to warn everyone that there's a monster coming to attack Earth that's going to turn Earth into a dead planet, like some planet around that was orbiting Jupiter. And this monster's name is Ghidorah. Ghidorah is a super monster. It has 3 heads. Each head can attack and target independently. It's huge. Ghidorah is bigger than almost any Earth monster in the entire movie, and Ghidorah can fly, so it's a triple threat of danger. And it's coming to attack Earth. She basically tries to get help from anyone who will listen, but they don't take her seriously. Oh, you don't know what you're talking about. So eventually they run into the Mothra twins, little tiny Mothra twins, who basically are the priestesses of Mothra. They sing a song that basically they call Mothra to come. Mothra basically goes to 2 other monsters that are fighting against each other, Godzilla and Rodan, and tries to get them to work together to fight this this new monster. Meanwhile, Ghidorah finally lands on Earth and starts tearing shit up, because that's what he does. He's gonna tear shit up. Now that's the monster action. The human action is that the human beings are trying to help out this woman who's clearly off of her rocker, because I mean, she's essentially says that she's a princess, a space princess from Jupiter, and we discover that before she was killed, her father was assassinated, and she is due to take the throne. But before that could happen, something happened to her, and she disappeared. She's turned up again. The dude who tried to have her killed, a dude named Malzas or Malzan or something like that, sees her and says, "Oh shit, that woman that I tried to kill is back again. Let's do it again." So basically, he gets his crew together to kind of kill her. She escapes. She winds up falling into the hands of this police officer who is assigned to be her bodyguard, and he basically, like, there's this weird romantic tension between the 2 of them, but it's never gonna work because she's the princess of a country and he's just a police officer. But anyway, meanwhile, Ghidorah is destroying crap. Godzilla and Rodan are fighting each other for some perceived slight, and Mothra basically tries to talk them into joining forces to take on Ghidorah. And they're like, nah. Like, at first, this is the first film that we actually see the monsters display ultra-human human-style feelings and thoughts and having their own language. Basically, Godzilla's like, and Rodan are like, nah, man, humans suck. Humans do nothing but start trouble. And then finally they're like, okay, we'll fight, but I want an apology from this guy. And Rodan and Godzilla refuse to apologize. So Mothra's like, forget you guys, I'll go fight Ghidorah by myself. And Mothra, did I forget to mention, is in her larval form, because it takes a few years for her to metamorphose into her butterfly form. So she crawls her ass out to fight King Ghidorah and gets her ass handed to her because she's just a caterpillar at this point. So basically, Godzilla and Rodan, like, Godzilla sees Mothra getting her ass kicked, and he's like, nah, that's not nice, man. So he gets into the fight, as does Rodan. But they each attack Ghidorah by themselves initially, but as the fight goes on, it's plain to see that one-on-one they can't really take on Ghidorah. So they combine their strengths. Basically, Mothra crawls on Rodan's back, and Rodan uses her silk to bind the heads of Ghidorah so that he can't really attack with his head. And Godzilla grabs him from the back and throws him down a hill, and then throws a lot of rocks at him. He doesn't really use his fire breath at all in this fight, which is kind of odd because Godzilla's fire breath is like one of his strongest attacks. And basically, Ghidorah, after getting his ass kicked by 3 of the Earth's monsters, flies away because he got his ass kicked. Ghidorah and Godzilla and Rodan basically patch up things, and Mothra goes back to her home, and Godzilla and Ghidorah go someplace else. I don't know. I guess they went to go get sushi and drink sake, because that's what you do in Japanese culture, to bury the hatchet. That's the plot. We'll get into why this film is important after the cut. Okay then, now it's time why this is important. This is the first film that really begins to expand upon the Toho universe. Well, not the first film. It expands upon the Toho universe and shows that there are monsters outside of Earth's monsters. It had to happen eventually. We've got space monsters now. And aliens. Now, this becomes a big plot point in the later 60s and 70s films. In the 60s and 70s films. Aliens attacking the Earth. Enemies from the outside. Enemies that aren't united with humanity attacking the Earth. And this is when things these produce some of the most iconic Godzilla storylines of the 70s. That being said, however, this film is a little campy, comparatively speaking. It does have a few moments where it's like Godzilla gets lightning struck in the crotch, which isn't cool. It's not cool to hit Godzilla in the crotch. So, you know, it shows that it shows how benevolent Mothra is. She never actively, like, she might try to defend the Earth from Godzilla or Rodan, but she's never actually actively tries to destroy any of the other monsters. She's perfectly, like, as long as everything is kept reasonably well balanced, she's not going to go destroying crap, which is kind of cool about Mothra. She is ultimately a very beneficial monster. That being said, Rodan appears in this film. Now, up until this point, Rodan was kind of like its own separate monster. It was a Toho film that you don't actually see Rodan until, oh god, like halfway through the movie you finally see Rodan. Rodan is a prehistoric pterodactyl style monster that can fly really fast and cause sonic booms. They don't have it in this film because it's really, you know, Toho was on a budget, but what the heck. But generally speaking, this film is, I a nice little romp. The next film in the series, I believe, is, let me check. The next film is Invasion of the Astro Monster, or in Japanese, it is Kaiju Daisenso. So it's gonna be a fun one. Stay tuned for my Godzilla 2014 review coming up soon. Ooh. Okay, have a good day. Okay, this is the conclusion. This film is kind of campy, but it's still a fun Godzilla romp. It introduces Rodan into the Toho Godzilla pantheon, which is different from their other monsters in other films, like their mushroom monsters and their zone fighter monsters. So, I mean, it's all very, very, very separate, but this introduces Rodan formally into the Godzilla universe, which is kind of cool. This film introduces the alien, something from the outside attacking Earth, and aliens trying to do weird stuff. And here's your fun bonus fact. This film's, the doctor who essentially diagnoses the princess as having amnesia and a knock on the head is the same guy who played Dr. Sazawa, the zoologist from the original 2 Godzilla films, who basically is like really didn't want to destroy Godzilla. That's not cool. So there's your tip for the day. Stay tuned. I will also be uploading today my Godzilla 2014 or Gojira 2014 review. Thank you and have a good day.